Welcome back. In the previous part, we arrived here in Mainz. We checked every house, we did little mini rounds, so it's time to go see the mayor, which I assume he's here, because where else would he be? Hold on. Voices can be heard from behind the door. Is something wrong? Not really. But it sounds like the mayor is in the middle of something. Maybe he has visitors? Oh, you folks have business with the mayor. Yeah, we were looking for him. So we came to the right place after all. That's good news. Yep, this is the place, but you see, you need hard hats, otherwise you may be in trouble. Probably not a good time to barge in right now. Sounds like he's having a serious discussion with someone or another. A discussion about what? You know how the CGF pulled their forces from the area this month? They didn't find any clues on the beasts that attacked Mainz, so we were freaking out about what to do. As that was happening, some help showed up from the city. Braces? Help. Only one group comes to mind. Braces. But, might actually be like the Mafia or something like that, trying to take advantage of the situation. The Braces, probably. I don't know much, but I think they were coming up with countermeasures against the monsters. Now, I also don't know why you're here either, but I'd wait for a bit before you see the mayor. Okay. What should we do? If he's busy, it'd be unprofessional to storm in on him now. I mean, there's a difference between knocking the door, being like, hey, are you busy right now? And storming in. There's a difference there, Lloyd. Let's gather all the information we can around town and reconvene here later. I think that's about all we can do in this situation. Nothing likes to be clear-cut in this line of work, eh? Well, so far, I was very much like, yeah, I'll do the rounds. I checked in with most people down here, and they're pretty much the same as what they were. Like, some of the dialogue is exactly the same. Like, this kid here is like, you know about the locked tunnel outside of town, right? Alec is exactly the same. So it's just... Give our offer some thought, okay? We'll be in touch real soon. This doesn't scream braces to me. Actually, we'll come ask you about it tomorrow, so we'll expect an answer then. Yeah, there you go. All it'll take is one more little push from us. Almost there. I can see the bonus already. Triple dot. The Varch goons. They're the last people I expected to show up in Mainz. Oh, wait a second now. Where the hell were they talking to the mayor? We assumed the braces were going to help, but the reality was much worse. Yeah, I'd rather they had been braces. Huh? Ah! Okay, that makes sense of that, okay. Bit of wheel spin there. So, that wasn't the mayor's van, but theirs. Varch has got their hands on Imperial-made vehicles, have they? The question still stands. What business could the Mafia have with a mining town like Mainz? True. I bet they'd rather avoid working outside of town. Not really their MO. All we can do is ask the mayor about it. Hopefully he can give us leads on the wolves and why the Mafia decided to pay him a visit. What? You're already back? Not quite. Excuse us, why is this thing down at the bottom though in this building? I want to investigate that. Did you hear me? I can't make a decision just like that. Come back some other... What's this? Oh, my, you aren't the people who we just spoke to, are you? No, we are not. Oh, pardon my rudeness. I'm Bixon. Mainz is mayor. It's fine, sir. We apologize for visiting at such a stressful time for you. Well, I wouldn't say I'm particularly bothered by it. Who exactly are you folks? All right, Crossbell Police Department, Special Support Section. We came to ask you about the recent monster attack, if you don't mind. Ah, so that's it. You're at the city's police department, are you? At first I thought you were a brace of rookies who decided to swing by Mainz. Yeah, we get that a lot. You see, we already asked around town, trying to dig up any information we could. According to what we heard, there hasn't been just one isolated case. You heard correctly. Now there have been 3 separate attacks in the area. 3! Each instance took place at night, and no one was injured during the first 2. But yesterday the culprits drew blood. Luckily, he only suffered minor injuries, but the damage caused by the beasts is getting worse. As a result, the whole town is too nervous to step outside at night. That's worse than I thought. And nothing came of the Guardian Force's investigation? Zilch. Those wolves, or whatever they are too cunning for their own good. However, the CGF is still the CGF. What do they think they are doing? Abandoning us after not solving a thing? Doesn't that just grind your gears? I understand your confusion, sir. Looks like they got a lot to worry about. You probably requested help from the Bracer Guild, eh? Yes, well, before the CGF arrived in Mainz, we submitted a request to the guild. Sad to say, the guild was too caught up in something and couldn't send anyone here. In the end, the CGF was dispatched to Mainz, and I knew full well they couldn't watch over us 24/7, but it must have caught you off guard for the Crossbell Guardian Force to suddenly withdraw this morning. Exactly. Like my father used to say, when it rains, it pours. Since I had nothing else to lose, I decided I might as well ask the guild for help again. But someone else knocked on my door first. I'm sure you saw them before you came in. You mean Ravach? If you don't mind me asking, what did they want to talk to you about? I don't mind sharing. With the CGF gone, Ravach has offered to become the town's new bodyguards. The beasts could attack at any time, they told me. Bodyguards? Them? It's like, if we're following normal tropes, it's very much that idea, like they're the ones behind the attacks. That would be the logical conclusion. Conclusion to me. Interesting. But they're doing it out of the kindness of their own heart, right? No, they aren't. But they also weren't planning on taking Mira as payment. Instead, they wish to build a monopoly on our Septium operations. It's all coming back to the Septium at the moment, isn't it? A monopoly on your mine? State government should have the mining rights, shouldn't they? Yes, to ensure we don't mine too much, we have to abide by governmental mandates. Because there's an international demand for Septium, we can't go overboard with selling it. However, when we sell our Septium 2 is ultimately left to our discretion. For them, playing bodyguard obscures the real objective. Controlling Mainz' Septium industry. Be that as it may, we still have partnerships we've built up with merchants over the years. No matter which way I try to look at it, this whole thing is a disaster. I'm sorry to hear that. Things seem to go straight to Gehenna when Ravach is involved. Mayor Bixon, how do you feel about letting us handle the attacks from here on out? I think we're capable of cracking this case. Really? Lloyd, are you sure? You said you are the Special Support Section. Is it really smart to rely on police rather than the CGF or Bracer Guild? You can trust us with this, sir. If things go according to plan, we can have this solved by tomorrow. Alright. Don't be steady on now, Lloyd. That's a hell of a promise. Lloyd, was it wise to promise something like that? We confirmed that there are 2 types of wolves present in this case. You really think we'll be able to track down the culprits by tomorrow? I mean, it's already evening. Near enough. Well, we don't necessarily need to exterminate them for starters. From the very beginning, our job was to clear the fog surrounding the mysteries in the CGF's report, right? Well, when you put it that way, without meaning to, we swapped that objective to dealing with the monsters themselves. I have a proposal, everyone. Like that white wolf implied, I think we already hold all the clues to the case. Why don't we try to have one last meeting and brainstorm about the entire case? It's a good idea. If we try to piece everything together, maybe we'll discover something new. I do enjoy these moments, by the way. It's that sort of... They did them occasionally in Sky, but here it's definitely a pattern that happens where it's like, right, we need to get together, put the clues together, and see what's going on. It's like, I like that. Alrighty, that's the plan. Should probably catch the bus back to the city. That's not necessary. We can always just stay in Mainz overnight. The inn's guest room is big enough for us to hold our meeting. Someone's eager. Lloyd, if our first case is anything to judge by, you must have realized something about this case, eh? Just like you did with that mess in the downtown district. Yeah, I have. Though I'm not 100% sold on my theory yet. If you're willing, I'd appreciate your help in sifting through all the evidence at the meeting. I think what I like about Lloyd here is very much he reminds me of myself and when I do the theories and stuff. My theories are never 100%. Nowhere near ever 100%, but it's that case of I tell them to you lot, so then we can have like discussions about it, bounce it back and forth, see about like little clues here and there. It's like, it's interesting, it's fun. So, as a result of that, I like Lloyd's approach, so he's fun. We're happy to help. We should hurry and book a room at the inn, if we're ready. These moments, I love these. Now, let's try to sort through our information and come up with a game plan. Many details were foggy in the CGF's initial report. We knew about the string of monster attacks, but not much more. Fortunately, our investigation shed light on many of these points. But there's still something important that we haven't been able to confirm yet. I thought we'd gotten everything. Huh? What are you talking about? The monster's objective. Yeah, it's like... The identity, it's like, I feel like we've pretty much got that. The den, I suppose it has to be nearby. It's like, we've got some idea. But it's like, what? It's like, it's sort of like, we mostly have that we can have some idea as to what's going on, but that's the key thing that needs to be confirmed out of these 3, isn't it? Because it's like, what are they up to? Why? Because it's not just a simple, we need food, there's a motive, there's a incentive behind what they're doing. So what is it? We still haven't pinned down the first thing that detectives usually look for in an investigation. The monster's objective behind all this. Yeah, that's a good point. Taking the damage they did at St. Ursula into account, doesn't look like they did it because they had the munchies, does it? Exactly, it's not food-based, it's something more. And according to the Amarika village chief, there's a possibility that all these attacks are a warning from the divine wolves. But it's more likely that those black wolves are our culprits. Yes, I agree. If that's the case, our search for an objective is just as bleak as it was minutes ago. I'm afraid so. Still, it's too early to conclude that everything happened because those wolves felt like it. While it may only apply to the hospital case, the wolves must have needed quite the entry route to reach the roof. It's also strange that they left without damaging anything and seemingly held back. That is peculiar. It would be unprofessional to conclude that it was just the pack's whim. Basically, our motive is hiding from us. That in itself is a clue, ain't it? Yeah, it's being hidden. Exactly, Randy. In these sorts of cases, people generally follow a particular framework. Different attacks by the same pack. I think if we analyze each individual framework, that could lead us to a proper motive. Framework? It's nothing too complicated. Generally, crimes consist of 4 aspects: corporate, objective, means, and results. What do you think would happen if we decided to shift what we know around? How so? Wait a second. I'll write these out for us to see. Corporate, black wolves. Objective, unknown. Means, wolves' abilities. Results, property damage, injuries. Yeah, that's the gist of it. Okay. So how do we go about the shifting you were talking about? Well, how about this? Which one corresponds to culprit? The culprit is unknown, I'd say. Which one corresponds to objective? Testing the wolf's abilities? Which one corresponds to means? What, the wolves themselves? Which one corresponds to the results, the damage? Yeah. This has got to be it. Corporate unknown, the objective is the wolves' abilities. The means is the black wolves. The results are property damage and injuries. That's it. If we go by this now, rather than the wolves being the culprits, they were the means. Using the wolves' abilities was the objective? Oh, Lloyd, you completely flipped the case on its head. You're thinking that people are behind the attacks after all. Yeah. I mean, the key evidence for me in that situation is that whistle. Because the whistle is the thing that makes sense. It implies they're being controlled. Sort of like a sheepdog in that regard. Obviously more complex than that, but you get the idea. If they're able to control the wolves, it's natural to think so. Our only problem is not knowing the exact method of control. Luckily, we have a particular statement that can help us guess their method. From someone we talked to? Oh, I think I know. You picked up on it too. You see, that statement came from Shizuku McLean. The Divine Blade Wind's daughter will be key to cracking this case wide open. Shizuku's statement. Well, I was starting to get a little anxious, so I opened the window and listened very carefully. Didn't hear any more screams, but I did hear something that almost reminded me of someone breathing. After hearing that for a few minutes, I suddenly heard what sounded like something jumping. But there's more, I think. But there was something else I heard on top of what I already told you. For some reason, I feel like I heard a faint whistling sound coming from outside the hospital. Hold on. Was that whistling how they controlled the wolves? Yeah, I think it's likely. Wolves are quite similar to dogs, but their ears can pick up frequencies that the average human ear cannot. Special whistles have been made to exploit that for a while now. While perhaps using a dog whistle, eh? If you train them well enough, you can get warhounds to do damn near anything. It's not like the armies use them, it's mainly just Jaegers. I see. Interesting. I'm starting to see the dots connect. If this was their method, they'd need a way to transport the wolves around. Wait, did they? The van. I think you are on the right track, Ellie. And I also know a way to confirm my line of reasoning. Tio, can I still contact people on my Enigma from all the way out here? Yes, you should be able to make calls as long as you're in the Crossbell state, but... Oh, we're giving someone a ring? Yeah. The St. Ursula reception desk. Yes, that's right. Exclamation? Is that so? Thank you very much for your cooperation. How'd it go? It was exactly as you thought. The night the wolves appeared on the roof, there was a Revarch & Co. van parked in the St. Ursula parking lot. They apparently tried to force them to buy some expensive medical equipment. Uncanny timing. Wait a sec, Lloyd. How the hell did you guess that they'd have a van in the parking lot? Well, it made sense that was the point of entry. We found the marks on the railing and everything. How do we know they didn't drive there late into the night to order the attack? They couldn't have. If they did, Shizuku's sharp ears would have heard the van. At first I thought that the wolves probably came from the nearby bushes, but something about that doesn't add up. There wasn't a single trace of paw prints on the wooden boxes facing that side. There were, however, visible signs of scratches on the handrails facing the parking lot. The chance that the parking lot was their entry route seems pretty high, doesn't it? I think I understand. Due to the roof being so high up, I never considered the possibility. Okay, so they didn't use Harold's car to get up. But still. But if they used the top of the van as a boost, they could have easily made it up there, right? Seems they were quite thorough in their plans. In the end, everything was connected. Their motive must have been to monopolize the septium industry, right? No, maybe that was just a bonus. That's what I'm thinking. Ravage is going all out in their efforts to overwhelm and conquer their rival group, Hayo. And if they wanted to use those wolves in their fight against them, then they'd have to test whether or not they can control the beasts, because they'd be useless if they couldn't follow any of their orders. That's the truth behind all of these different attacks, ain't it? Yeah, I have no doubt. To start off, the Mafia visited the village right after the CGF withdrew. Isn't that too strange to be a coincidence? And if the CGF commander gave the order really is tied to a Diet member, don't you think they probably collaborated on this entire thing? Yes. That very well could be. I knew there was corruption in the Diet, but I think they'd actually go this far. Do you think they plan on going further? Considering they've already conducted combat tests, you'd think it'd be enough. Given how the CGF withdrew, you'd think they no longer want to conduct any more tests. But something about that doesn't sit well with me. Their actions this time around seem unnecessarily ambitious. A monopoly on the septium industry. If they really wanted that, they'd have to act one last time, wouldn't they? Judging by past encounters with Ravage, I'd say you're spot on there, Teotot. When do you think this supposed attack will occur? Let's see. We know that Mayor Bixen is probably going to contact the Bracer Guild tomorrow. They really plan on following through on their threat. Tonight is their only option. Well, doesn't leave us much of a choice. We're going to ambush the wolves and arrest the Ravage members behind this, then? We must. There's no overlooking something this big. Should we contact the CGF for support? No, the CGF takes part in this. I bet the Mafia will get to go home scot-free, given their ties to that Diet member. We have to do this alone. Understood. If they appear, it will most likely be in the middle of the night, right? All the other incidents have occurred late in the night, so that would be a safe assumption. We still have some time left before dark. Should we go over our strategy? Well, if we're running short on supplies, we should take care of that first. Once we're done preparing, let's wait here on standby until midnight. I love those scenes. When you're all ready to wait for midnight, inspect the table. It's just, again, the investigation type stuff, it fits with how I think. Because it's very much like, Lloyd was almost jumping to conclusions on certain things, like, what if we saw this from this angle? And it's like, that actually explains everything. And then they're pursuing that line of thinking. It's kind of how I do things. It's not deduction, really. It's abduction. It's interesting. You're the ones who rented the room down the hall, right? I was trying to get that big room, but the lady who runs the place said that the room was too spacious for a party of two. She sure knows her stuff. It's been a while since someone rejected one of my whims. Well, we'll just have to make do with the room we were given. It's quite nice. Besides, there are more important matters to attend to. I've got to negotiate with the mayor again tomorrow. I would rest until the septium crystals are mine. They're just within my reach. Oh, I should go return this tableware to the inn owners while I still can. Phew. Of course she wanted to eat it in the comfort of her own room. My lady can truly be a selfish person. Bringing her meals to the room is the easy part. I'm just worried about tripping when I go to return the tableware. Understandable. You don't want to make a mess and cause a fuss for these people. No. What do you think of the room? Nice and spacious, right? It's not every day that young folks like you all decide to stay with us. It falls on me to treat you right. Oh, you all going out? Things have been dangerous lately, so try not to stay out too late, alright? The miners usually come here to make a ruckus, but barely anybody's been wanting a drink today. It's just great. Still, it's not like I can go blaming Max for being attacked by a monster. I don't know what they are exactly, but they need to cut it out. Just stop it. Just stop it already. You stupid monsters. How dare you? Sake might be a good choice. Sends all your fatigue from the day packing. Just don't drink too much of it. You'll regret it if you do. Mining crew seems to be building up a considerable amount of stress. Hoping some good old alcohol will give them the energy for tomorrow. Mr. Gantz, how can your liver handle getting wasted day after day? We should just go home after work, but that's a long shot. Unfortunately, Mr. Gantz is the kind of person to get cranky after a few drinks. Oh dear. Gluck gluck. Cracking open a cold one after work is the best. Can't drink too much, though I'd never hear the end of it if I showed up to work hungover. Top of that, Gantz is a lightweight. If I got too wasted, he would take his drunk ass back to his house. I'm too good a friend. I'm back someday. I'll be a bit after that. Hey, Marlo. Is this me? Yeah, I am. Come on, man. How long are you going to repeat that pipe dream? I swear you know I'm gonna hit the jackpot as soon as this week. Yeah, we'll wait until you sober up a bit before I drag you home. Oh dear. He does sound quite drunk, doesn't he? It's just like a question of like, where should we go at night? It's like, it's nice wandering around here, but intriguing that door there is slightly differently coloured. It's like, it implies it's going to be opened at some point. You can see that in animation sometimes, especially like Disney and stuff. Doors will look different if they're about to be opened, because they're not drawn as highly detailed as the rest of the set. Piece. Drawing. Art. Background. Thing. You know what I mean. Daddy, it's so late. What's for dinner? I'm starving. Oh, only your favourite, Kimmy. My homemade hamburgers. Ooh. I love those the mostest. Daddy may be real strict to everyone else, but he's super nice to me. I love him a lot. Aw. You've got guts. No one in their right mind goes out inside at night nowadays. Come on, you buying something? Don't give me any of those, oh, we were just looking around excuses. Tell me what you want and you got it. Listen here, I could be spending time with my amazing daughter, so if you really are just looking around, I'm not going to be a happy camper. There you go. Are you happy now? I bought something. He's a good businessman. He's a good businessman. He made me buy that. He made me do it. I felt guilty, so I had to buy it. Hello. There we go. That's everyone by my count. It looks like Gantz and Marlo already snuck away to the bar. Oh well. As long as they're indoors, I guess. Excuse me. What exactly are you doing? Oh, I'm just closing the mines gate. Monsters like to show up every once in a while, so I've got to make sure no one's left inside with those suckers. Monsters. Lloyd, what's the matter? Something bothering you, right? Oh, I was just thinking. Still have time before the operation, so why not train here for a bit? I mean, we're going in there then. Huh. Might be onto something there, Lloyd. It's true that we don't have enough time to head back onto the highway. What are you kids talking about? You see... Lloyd explained the situation and asked if they could be allowed to train in the mine. Oh, that's it. So I can't usually do that. If outsiders went inside and got hurt, as the mine chief, that'd fall onto my shoulders. Oh, is that the case? Nothing we can do then. Hey now, I didn't refuse just yet. Huh? Judging by what's in front of me, about as tough as any miner I've ever seen. If you're promised not to go crazy in there, I'll make a special exception for you. Seriously? Mighty generous of you. You know, I want to give some payback to those mutts who tore up Max too. If you promise to get them good, I'd be happy to lend a hand. Alright, give me a sec. Hoffmann unlocked the mines gate. Okay then, you'll try not to get too worn out in there. Alright, the left gate inside there leads to the abandoned mine. Stay away from there, you hear? Loud and clear. Thanks for the help. No sweat. Well then, I'll leave our wolf infestation in your hands. At any rate, we can enter and exit the mine freely now. Right, let's use this as a warm-up for our operation later. So what I'm actually going to do then is end this part here, and the next part we'll go inside and have a look around, and then we'll also come out, continue the rounds, and begin the operation. So we'll see you in the next part. Ta-ta for now.